my mom is a writer, she used to write poetry a lot. Um, my dad got one of them like mean Johnny Cash type voices, when he sings the Arabic stuff. So for me, it was just like watching impromptu jam sessions.
Look, today we have not only one of the most special human beings that I believe is in the entire hip hop music industry. I've been a fan of him myself for years and years. He's Grammy Award winning, Oscar winning, Oscar nominated, crazy amounts of streams. Jay-Z will tell you that he's, one of the greatest rappers ever to touch a microphone. And what's even more astonishing is English is his second language. Most people couldn't do what he does as a first language. He's done it as a second language. Please help me introduce one of the most special people. Belly, thank you so much for blessing us for being on the show today.
Man, thank you. That was amazing.
Well, look, I wish I could say more. I would just keep talking about you, to be honest. But, look, I'd love to hear, and I think everybody else would, there's so much power in vulnerability, and so much of the culture, this whatever social media, whatever is so, it's all cap. We know what it is. Everybody's trying to flex on something. And I come from a world where true men can be vulnerable, and that's a true power of strength. And what I've seen about you is that you have so much courage to share these cultures and talk about mental health and talk about these serious issues with so much grace. So I would love for you to just tell us a little bit how you came from Palestine, how you got to Canada, how did this happen? Because your life was not one that is almost unfathomable how you have got here to where you are. And I know this is just the beginning of your career. You have a lifetime to share with us. Could you kind of start with that and share a little bit about your background?
Yeah, sure. Again, thank you, man. For all the kind stuff you said. It's still amazing to me that I could even be in these type of conversations. For me, being Palestinian was something that motivated me and always gave me power, and it made me want to do something. It wanted made me want to channel something that I felt, everything that I felt, into something, and just tell a story, and not necessarily just that story. Just be able to channel all the darkness into something better, and I think being Palestinian to me is more about the love. And I know people always want to hear about the struggles and all that, but for me, my earliest childhood memories are my uncles playing instruments on the roof, and my aunts and uncles singing together, and I think that's probably where I fell in love with music. So
that was the music was a part of your family culture in some regard, not necessarily this genre, but were people musical around you in general? Is that where you got, learn the rhythm? It's the basic mechanics of and loving music. Is that where it came from?
Yeah, it was crazy. It wasn't like any classically trained musicians. My mom is a writer, she used to write poetry a lot. My dad got one of them like mean Johnny Cash type voices, when he sings the Arabic stuff. So for me, it was just like watching impromptu jam sessions just go down. Like, we would just literally be on the roof, and the hookahs would come out, and
I love
before
it.
it was popular here, by the way. This is years ago, but and that's those are like my earliest memories, and those are the ones I like to hang on to. There's obviously some darkness and all that, but
well, tell me what that means, because you're such a man have so much grace and so much gratitude. Tell me about what you mean by that darkness. Tell me the stuff that was dark, because I know you're a man of light, and dark is the absence of light. Right. Dark is actually not a thing, right? And so tell me what you mean by, tell me some things to you what were dark and how you made them light.
I mean, as a kid, it was just trying to adjust to a new life, to a new world, new society. Um, I tell the story all the time, but like seeing a microwave for the first time.
What? When was
Yeah,
how old? How old were you?
yeah. I was probably like maybe like 6 or 7 years old.
You saw a microwave the first time you were 6 or 7 years old.
Yeah, I was in Canada, and like we couldn't believe it. And honestly, for the longest time, we used to clown it. We used to be like,
Man.
"Man, you just turn the stove on and just put whatever you want on the stove. Like, what the hell is this thing?" And then eventually, we were like, "No, okay, 1 minute and a half to cook something. That's no okay. That
That's
really
fire.
takes time." It's funny. I don't use a microwave no more. So
You don't
full
use a
circle.
microwave no more?
Nah, I don't use my microwave.
I feel you, but I gotta assume you got one in the house though, right?
Yeah, I almost had a tinfoil hat on for the.
So let me ask you a question. Obviously, I'm really interested like in craft. A lot of people don't know about me that I was an English major before I became an attorney and then kind of got into my business a little bit.
That's
So
awesome.
so I love, just literature. I'm a big reader and whatever. And your pen is just fucking dummy. And so like
Thank you.
what
Thank
is
you.
like where did that come from? So are you more of like you write in your head? Are you writing more with the pen? Like what does your craft look like? Because it's so ridiculous that like where does that come from?
Like for me, I'd love to give myself credit, for it and be like, yeah, this is all me. But I actually said something recently, and I said I write it all down when the angels speak. Like I feel like if there's the right energy in the room and there's the right feeling, that's what's writing it. I'm just a vessel. I'm allowing it to come through me. But um, if the energy's not there, like if that special spark, and it doesn't mean like the energy has to be like, hey, we're clinking glasses and having a party. Like it could be a different type of energy, right? And there's power in both of those. But if an energy doesn't exist in the room, or there's like clashing energies in a room, I won't be writing none of that. It's not gonna happen. Like the voice that needs to speak through me won't even exist in a room like that.
I mean, middle finger plus thumb because I stay snapping, right?
That's right. That's right. A lot of people missed that, man. I was kind of mad about that.
But by the way, the real ones did not, and I'm a hip hop head, bro. When I
Right.
heard that shit, I was like, hold on, what did that man just say? Like
No,
that
that's
was
what's
what
up.
that was wrong. That L.A. Leakers thing was just that long bread with the baguettes line too was out of fucking control. Just
Thank you, man.
FYI.
Thank you.
But what I love is to me, like you're almost like the Walt Whitman of rap in the sense that it's so lyrical, but you have a way of not like letting substance and storytelling. It's not like even though there's the punchlines in there that are coming, how do you craft those stories? Because it's so hard in this day and age of this, mumble rap world, which there's a place for. There's a lot of greats out there, Lil Baby, and all these guys kind of doing it, but when I hear you, and I'm a lot older. I'm the old guy in the room now. Like I grew up on Nas and on Biggie, and I
Yeah,
just
me
hear
too.
I hear Biggie in the way that some of the cadences a little bit, and I hear the
For sure.
intellect of a Nas or a Talib, but you don't jeopardize the story for lyrics, and that's like it's so rare. Like Cole can do that
Thank
in
you.
a way, but can you walk me through like that craft a little bit of how, like, because you are a true storyteller, like you
Thank
never
you.
jeopardize that even in freestyles. Am I missing something? But like that's how I
No,
I
no,
listen to it.
absolutely, absolutely. I think that's the part of it that intrigued me probably the most when I was falling in love with it. With hip hop and rap and just words in general, and just like how you said, just literature in general. Like if I see something beautiful anywhere in words, I'm like, wow, I wish I would have thought of that. Um, but I think the way I approach writing lyrics comes from um, studying Biggie, right? Like Biggie was the type of guy that um, you could play any type of beat, and he'll take you there, any mood, and to me, he's I know a lot of people know he's one of the greatest storytellers, but to me, he's the greatest storyteller. He just didn't get enough time to tell all the stories that he would have told, you know?
So I know Biggie, or I feel like Biggie's been a huge influence in your life. And I heard a rumor that seems so unbelievable that you have to verify for me. But did you actually teach yourself English while listening to Ready to Die?
Yeah, yeah. I
Is
was
that
in the
true?
I was in the phase of learning English when I got that album. Um,
Oh my God, bro. You're
and yeah,
different, bro.
it
You're
was
just
it was
different.
one of the best things that ever happened to me. You know, like and you know, like I said, Biggie, one of the greatest storytellers, if not the greatest storyteller to me of all time. And I learned a lot of that. I learned a lot from Hove, obviously, um, a lot from Big Pun, a lot from Eminem. Um, you know, I had a lot of influences. I was lucky that you know the phases that took place in my life was like I was like just getting classic after classic to learn from. You know, and that's really what it was. And I had such an infatuation for like for the language, for the words, for everything that it was something new to me. I didn't even know how to speak the language, but so it made me want to learn what everybody was talking about. It just sounded so amazing to me. I wanted to learn everything. So um, you know, Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style, was like one of the first albums that my older brother actually brought that home, and that's how I heard that. You know, so I think like all these classic albums kind of shaped the way like I approach doing something. I'm like, no, this has to be, you know, I know I'm not gonna make nothing that's on that level because that's in an era that's just different than anything that we do. You know what
I
I mean?
did. I
But
I gotta respectfully disagree because some of the
you know,
stuff that you, I mean, my God, like, I mean, you're a very humble
I'm
man.
always believe that. You know, you know, I'm always believe that because like those, you know, they just lived in a different time and existed in a different space. But uh, in my own world, I know I can create something like that, and those will definitely be the blueprints that I use to do that. You know.
Yeah, no pun intended with that blueprint line. And but but what is it? KRS already made an album called Blueprint.
Hey man, yeah, it don't matter. The blueprint to me, blueprint 1 and 2.
Yeah, me too. By the way,
Yeah, I love 'em. I
pop and
love 'em.
tags. We had Killer Mike on here, who's just a dear friend and a beautiful soul. And I still go back to pop and tags, old Kanye beat before Kanye was even rapping, and that's still one of those extra classics.
Yeah,
Man,
sure.
like one thing that I've heard you talk about before. You've been very open with this kind of mental health epidemic that is kind of going on. Tell me what you see in like your world and like how you feel about what's going on with that, because I know that's something that I've heard you talk about in really profound ways.
Um, Man, you know, everyday mission. That's what it is. It's like you know, just kind of remembering what I got into this for, and remembering that love, you know, and that drives me. And for a long time, I think what led me into like a dark place with my mental health was obviously like a bunch of events that took place at the same time. But at the same time, it was like music to me was becoming something that like wasn't feeling therapeutic to me no more. It wasn't like solving that thing, you know. And it was
Do
like
you
almost
mind
like,
sharing like one specific thing that was a dark or a big challenge and maybe something that you learned from that? Like,
yeah. I mean, separation for me. Being when I moved to LA about 6 years ago, you know, I'm away from family, I'm away from friends, I'm away from
damn.
everybody, you know, and you know, losing people along the way and not being able to be there for big days and big situations and you know that type of thing. And then even worse, becoming desensitized to that, you know, and even worse, expecting people to be okay with it, you know,
Damn.
because like, oh, I'm on this mission, and then you know, you realize life is short, man. You go, you know, you blink your eyes and miss moments that you wish you never missed. So I think I just had to take time and just come to terms with the fact that I need balance and everything, you know. I need to,
And do you think it's good that you learned that at that point in your career? Like, do you feel that as there's an old saying, "Man plans, God laughs," right? And so like, do you think that that was the right time for you to go to that place, so that now as you're, going to this massive level of success, which is now completely inevitable for anybody that has a brain that's watching you, is that,
Thank
do you
you.
think that was the right time for that?
I mean, for me, there's never a right time to be there, and that's why I speak about
Okay.
it. I don't. I want to get somebody before they fall into it. And if I'm helping people out of it, God bless. But I want to get people to understand that, like, it gets to a point where things really either make you or break you. You got to decide what type of person you are. You got to make the decision. Are you the type to be broken? If you are, hey, maybe you need to take that and use that and then come back and do what you need to do. But for me, I just couldn't feel broken no more. I had to take these situations and use everything that was coming my way to make myself stronger, to make myself bulletproof. And, it's just, like I said in the beginning, it's an everyday mission. Every day I'm working on it. Every day I'm trying to think of things that'll not only make me better as a person, but just make me feel better every day. And um, help me find happiness. And if I can't find it in one place, I'm at least now looking at other avenues, and I'm always, thinking about what I could do to just be better every single day in
You
every way.
know, so I'm half Iranian, okay, and I speak Farsi, and my mother is German. I was born here in the States, so there's,
Salam,
salam, my brother.
Kobe.
My brother. We have some mutual friends that, in the family that will speak some Farsi with us, but we were brothers only a couple thousand years ago, so there's a lot of
That's right.
cultural stuff.
Right.
But do you feel any cultural pressure at all, because you're carrying the torch in, for really a culture right now that unfortunately is experiencing so much turmoil. And I mean, the stuff that's going on that side of the world, I don't get into politics or any of that stuff. I have a tremendous admiration for what you did of walking off the show, knowing that, there was a political figure that I won't say the name that you didn't agree with. And as an American, as a person in America, or whatever you want to say, that could have been big notoriety for you. But you chose your ethics and your beliefs to say, I'm not doing this if, this man is going to be a part of it. And I don't think people have the guts to have that much integrity. Can you tell me a little bit about, the integrity that you have? Because that's what I feel mostly, because I've never heard you not come correct. Sometimes I'm saying, I need another belly record. Like in that instance, but I know when it does drop, it's so fucking dummy that, my head's going to blow up. And that's no cap. That's the truth. Like, I'm a hip hop head. But, what was that hard for you to not do that, to do that show? Or is it effortless? Truly, like, give me the real facts. Like, was it like, damn, were you torn? Like, fuck, I want to get this, like, it's big notoriety. My label's making me do it. Like, what happened there?
Nah, it just wasn't gonna happen. Like from the jump, it just was not gonna happen.
My guy. I mean,
Yeah.
that's, I got to say something in a very selfish way. I know you're a super busy man. But would you bless us with a couple bars?
Oh man. The only reason I say I hate to say no, man, but the only reason
No,
I say that, is the only reason I say that is because I'm in the middle of actually working on something right now. You know what I mean? So I just kind of
you
don't
got to
want to
keep it in the
reveal.
vault. You got to keep it in the
Yeah,
vault.
yeah, yeah, that's the only reason. Like, if I had some Lucy's, trust me, I'd bust out.
I got you. I got to
Yeah,
I said that selfishly, but you know what? You got to put that in the vault, and I'll tell you the
I got you. Trust me.
anticipation.
Once I have the album cuts, I got something for you. Don't worry.
And I'll tell you something, everybody that's listening, if he's saying that, that means there's some jewels that are going to be dropped. So you stay tuned for that record to come out.
Yes, sir.
I'll
Yes, sir.
ask you one question, and I'll let you go. And again, like, for me, this means so much that you took this time, because I am
Oh no, man.
truly,
Thank you.
I'm a
For having
fan.
me.
Like I said, like I'm a believer. I'm a fan. I grew up in the era that you did. and I've been very disenfranchised with some of the artists of the way the industry has gone a little bit. So like hearing you and the Coles and the Kendricks and the, coming out and coming with that real depth, that truth is so enlightening. And that LA Leakers is still like so fucking mind blowing. It's crazy.
Hey man, shout out to my brother, just incredible Sour Milk. Those are my brothers, man.
Shout out, and so I'll leave you with, I got one question for you that I ask everybody at the end is, if there is one thing that you wish everybody in the world knew, what would it be?
That your ego is your worst enemy.
Damn, that's a bar.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
that's my, and I ended off by saying that's really my the tree that I'm chipping away at. Kill the ego.
Well, by the way, I'm joining your club because God knows I'm doing the same thing, and I think a lot of people hearing this, they need to hear that, because if you solve that one, I think there'd be a lot less pain and suffering in the world. Belly, thank you so much for your time, and
thank you for having me, for real,
man. It's the honor is ours, and it's an honor to our listeners. God bless you, brother. You have all my love, all my support, and I can't wait for those things to drop. I'll be the first one to hear them when they come.
Thank you, man. Coming soon. We're almost ready.
Let's fucking go. Let us know when it comes so we can tell everybody.
I got you. We'll be back.
God bless you, brother. Take it easy.
Thank you.
You got it. Peace.